If I could have everybody's attention, I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 8th, 2018 regular meeting of the Guymon City Council. This time, if you'd stand and join me, we'll do an invocation and flag salute. And our preacher didn't get to make it tonight, so if you'll join me in prayer. Our Father, thank you for another glorious day in Guymon. Thanks for all the interest we saw today from our folks from the Leadership Guymon class as they toured the city offices and worked with all the city people and showed a profound interest in our little community. Thanks for the blessings of living here. Thanks for the start of spring. We sure could use some rain. Thanks for all you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Alvidrez, if you like to pledge.
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2 is the agenda's roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager, Crone,
Here.
Alvidrez,
Here.
Livingood,
Here.
Mr. Wagner,
Here.
Mr. Petty.
Here. Agenda item number 3 is approval of the consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Livingood,
Aye.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is public comments and announcements. Mr. Harris, I think you've got some information for us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
I know who he is.
Yes, I just wanted to present y'all with a performance metrics report we've been working on. We've been working with Larry Mitchell for months, kind of off and on, trying to get the information. We've been giving y'all a lot of reports for months, and sometimes I know they can be cumbersome. So we have condensed a lot of that information into a report, you can see, which is 2 pages. So I'd like to present that to y'all tonight, let y'all review that, and if y'all have any questions, concerns, comments, anything about that, please get with me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public comments, announcements. Anybody have any public comments and announcements? We do.
Hi. Do I need to say my name or
Yep,
anything?
tell us who you are.
Please.
Jackie Strickland. I just want to speak on behalf of IBTS. I feel like they've done a good job for our community, and I appreciate what they've done, and especially the leadership of Dave Harris. I feel like he is a humble man of integrity who loves our community and has done great things for it, and he truly has no other agenda but what's best for our community. And he and his wife have both been outstanding assets to our community. I think they at first thought it was going to be a temporary thing, but they've fallen in love with our community, and they're both very involved in wonderful, outstanding ways. And so I just want you to know that as a community member, I appreciate them and what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tina Sample, and I just wanted to agree with everything that Jackie said, and David and Tanya both have invested quite a bit to Guymon, and they want Guymon to grow and be the best town it can be, and I think they've done everything. They're trying everything they can to make Guymon be a good town for everybody here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other public comments and announcements? Well, at this time, Chief, do you want to introduce your Leadership Guymon class and have them come up and introduce them to everybody?
Sure. Don't grade me on their names, so they're going to say their own names.
No, you're supposed, after today, you're supposed to have them memorized.
So we had Leadership Guymon today. They were up at Municipal. We had Mr. Wagner and Mayor Peterson come up and talk to us, and we had a lot of the department heads, Lavona. We went out to the fire station, then went to the library. So it's been a good day. I'll have them all come up. They can tell you their names, so you've got names of faces. But it was a good day. I think they enjoyed it all and learned a lot. So I'll let them go.
Hi, Tiana McCowan, CEO of the YMCA.
John Britton, Inventory Manager at Lumber Mart.
Marcia Cobb, City Bank and Trust.
Trey Freeman, Anchor D.
Claudia Brown, TCEC.
Luis Romero, Store Manager for Verizon.
Tammy Mallard, Denise Lunt, CPA.
Randy Coble with Nell Green Power, the Goodwill Wind Farm.
Chris McEwen with High Plains Bioenergy.
Tefe Nano, Seabird Foods.
Morgan Garcia with Bank of the Panhandle.
Larry Dalvine, City Bank and Trust.
That's the Leadership Guymon class.
You want a picture with them, or are you good?
No, we're good.
All right. Thank you.
We can do that later if they want to. They're probably tired. They're probably ready to go home.
They cut up some cars today, so they might be tired.
I heard they got to go up in the ladder truck.
No,
You didn't get to go up because of the wind? Oh,
I've never seen Mr. McCune without a hat on.
All right, any other public comments and announcements? Any other public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 5 is a presentation regarding PTCI by Mike Shannon.
Good evening. Start out and thank you for allowing me to address you all tonight. Councilman Alvidrez and I, he sent me an email around the first of the year, I think it was, around sometime 1st of January, and he had one of the best questions I believe I've ever heard before asked. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to read just parts of your email.
That's fine.
It says, can you tell me why Liberal has so much more economic development than Guymon? And that's a good question. Next thing he said, is Liberal Kansas more appealing than Guymon? Yeah. I know there's probably a long list of why, but if you could just enlighten me, I would appreciate it. It's very seldom that people come to you and just ask you a good, decent question. And it's, as we all travel around, if we go to Liberal, you'll see they're just booming up there right now. And you come back to Guymon, and we're just kind of at just kind of status quo right now. But you asked for my opinion, and that's what I'm going to give tonight. I think y'all have there before you. I got a little talking paper here. I'm just going to address each little item, and of course, it's my opinion. It's all about subsidies. How much can a city afford to give a business to relocate? I've been here in PTCI now going on 2 years, and there's not a week goes by that we're approached to what can the city, they always ask, what can the city provide or entice us to come to your town? Well, as visiting with the interim city manager throughout the year, things are tight. You just cannot just divvy out cash right now, and understandable. Sales tax has kind of leveled off, thank goodness, for a while, and that's good. That's good. But I thought I'd just kind of throw out an idea, and I'm really talking about Kansas, but I'm just going to tell you kind of what my opinion would be, then we'll get into Kansas. A possible alternative to subsidies is a TIF district. Now, it's been proven here in Guymon. I think Mr. Petty was very instrumental in the very first one. Help create some economic development for Seaboard, basically. And it's been fantastic. And that's one way that the city could promote or entice economic development. Again, my opinion, I'm not recommending you do a TIF district, but I think it's something that I would be certainly entertained to sit down with your city manager to start that discussion, possibly, some ins, some outs of it. The next thing that I want to talk about is our population base. We simply do not have the density or the critical mass of people to lure bigger retail chain stores, and I think that's kind of basically what we're kind of missing right now, or we wish we would have, kind of like Liberal or Garden City or Dodge City. Pritzy's working with a retail company right now, and speaking of density or critical mass of people, that we've been in negotiations with, that they was needing 15,000 Hispanics within a 5-minute drive. Well, when I heard that, I thought, okay, we've got that many. But going back to our demographics program that we had, we don't have that many people, Hispanics, within a 15-minute drive or a 5-minute drive time. So I thought, okay, strike one. I thought, well, with this new demographic program, we have the ability to look a little farther down and just see exactly what we do have. I think it's on about the 3rd page there. Our Hispanic population within a 20-minute drive time is 7,000. Within a 30-minute drive time is 8,000. And within a 45-minute drive time of Guymon, Oklahoma, there's 25,000 Hispanics. Well, that kind of meets the criteria except of the drive time. So what I'm looking at, there's something else that we can do with the demographic study. I'm not going to say the retail establishment, but they have over 100 other retail establishments in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, where the density of Hispanics are greater. They also, one of their stores in Presidio, Texas, population about 6,000, they have there's 91% of that town is Hispanics. And their average income is $41,000. What we're doing to show them, you can look down there, we can prove to them, Presidio is one of their older stores that they've had, very successful for about the last 10 years, to my understanding. Never had a bad year. We can show them then within a 35-minute drive time of Guymon, Oklahoma, we can meet that 11,000 Hispanics. And their average income, household income, is $62,000. So that's just kind of, a lot of the headhunters or the brokers are looking for that very dense population. But with the new program, or with the program that Pritzy works with, we can show them that we can meet that quota. And they're already doing it in some of their other towns. So there's a possibility we went into another negotiations with this company. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if they'll take another look at us. One of the other, I just got it for populations in Kansas. Let's start, we're going to kind of come back to Kansas. Liberal's right at 21,000 people right now. Guymon's sitting in at about 13,000, 14,000, to my understanding. Dodge City's at 28,000. Garden City's at 26,000. Our major employer here in Guymon, they always ask who is the major employer, and we just really have one major employer within the thousands of employees. I think there's a list in back, I think there's close to 4,000, maybe 5,000 employees. Then it comes back down to 350 employees. That kind of runs a little bit of red flag up to a potential retailer or a restaurant that would want to come in. They would, they'd look at that, and they always ask, what if? What if Seaboard would decide to leave, and that would take, about 5,000 people away. So that's another little problem that we deal with. The other thing that we're dealing with right now in town is the availability of large retail space with reasonable leasing rates. Something about our area right now that people are pretty proud on what they're per square foot to lease to a company right now. Until we get competitive with our retail spaces on per square foot lease, it's going to be kind of difficult at that time. We do work with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce a lot, quite a little bit, because they're our main voice in economic development from the state this side. They have the ability in the budget to attend markets and promote the Panhandle of Oklahoma. And when I say markets, I've never been to one. I've sent people to those markets, but they are where the major corporations, the major retailers, your restaurants all gather. Most generally they're in Las Vegas or Denver or somewhere, or Dallas. And you basically go to these booths and sell yourself, sell your community. The Department of Commerce always attends those. We have a ace in the hole, I feel like, with the Department of Commerce with Stan Ralston, born and raised here in Guymon. He works for those people. And it does work when you go there, because he went up to a Little Caesars Pizza booth, basically, had a good discussion. 3 weeks later, Little Caesars Pizza sent a broker and one of the Little Caesars representatives out to Guymon. So that one-on-one, when we attend one of these markets, works. Bad thing about it, though, Oklahoma City is 250 miles away from Guymon. We've experienced this all the time. We have good representation in Guymon from time to time, but that's just some of the things we have to deal with. We need someone actively going to these markets. Prezi is finally getting into a position where we can start traveling. Our memberships are growing, kind of like the city budget. It was kind of down for a while. Now we're looking just a little better. So we'll probably be coming to the city manager at one time, and when one of these little markets open up, we can, maybe collaborate just a little bit and send a group of people down there to sell Guymon to the retail markets. Because we do have a lot to offer. We do have a lot to offer. Okay, let's talk about Kansas for a while. Completely different tax structure. After I retired from the city of Guymon in 2007, I had the opportunity to be a economic development representative for a company out of Elkhart, Kansas. I got to deal with the Kansas government. They are really blessed with a lot of money to promote economic development, even from the state side on down to the county levels. But most of their money is derived from property taxes, ad valorem taxes. We know cities and towns just do not get that. That's where a lot of the money is coming from in Liberal right now. Liberal's doing a TIF. I know Garden City did a TIF district, but their ad valorem taxes are just unbelievable. Does anybody own any property in Texas or Kansas, and you'll see your taxes a year are almost 4 to 5 times higher than what Oklahoma is. That's where a lot of their money comes from that allows them to promote the area, maybe to offer incentives. So that might be something that we might kind of look at. It'd take just go ahead and say it'll take an act of Congress to maybe look at maybe a new tax. I'm not proposing a new tax on property, but it's probably might be something we need to look at, consider, and to just kick around a little bit. The local cities and towns in Kansas just have more ability to go to Topeka and get money. There was nothing. We worked on a short line railroad from Dodge City to Elkhart. It didn't take us 3 to 4 months to, get close to $12 million to renovate that for economic development. They have the money for that, but it's all derived from property taxes. It's just a completely different structure in the state of Kansas. Liberal right now is going through, like I said, we go up there right now and you'll see a new hotel. You'll see, I guess they got an IHOP. I've not been up to Liberal in quite a while, but that's where they're getting a lot of their money is just from their property taxes. That's the city levies on the property. So it can be done, but it could be pretty touchy, especially when you're talking about property taxes. So, and that's where they're doing a lot of that, especially with the TIF right now. Good grief, they're just going hog wild up there in Kansas, and they're taking that chance. They're taking that chance that if they build a development, that Menards or Dick's Sporting Goods or Chicago Pizza is going to come in. And sure enough, Garden City hit the jackpot on a lot of that. They're coming in and they're adding to the economy up there right now. I'm anxious to see in another 2 to 3 years how well that's still going, but the last couple of years, you look at it, they're adding more and more and more. So there's some ways that we can approach this and look at future development for the city of Guymon. I'd like to just volunteer Prezi to, maybe start leading those discussions, meeting with the city manager and your planning department, just at your beck and call. Because Guymon is setting in a real good position for the next 3 to 5 years that we should be able to capitalize on what's fixing to happen in our area because of the wind, the added, the casino and some other things right there. So I feel pretty privileged right now. We ride this out for a couple of more years. I think you'll see a considerable, I think liberals going to be looking down at Guymon going, how did they do that? That's our goal. That's basically what Mr. Alvarez and I visited about for about 2 hours one day, really. We had a real good discussion. And I thank you again publicly for coming in and asking those questions.
I thank you for your expertise.
I appreciate that. Mr. Mayor, any questions?
I'm good. Anybody have anything?
Okay.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Mike.
again, I'll get together with Mr. Wagner and we'll start some good discussions and see where we can kick this down the road a little faster.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6 is presentation on the YMCA by Tiana McCowan.
Thank you.
That's okay. People have done worse to me.
Thank you.
It's just mine, don't worry about it.
Just mention.
That's a new one. Don't rush.
It's terrible.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for the time, and hello to the city manager, the council, and the mayor. I just wanted to take some time to talk about the Texas County Family YMCA with some of the events and the programs that we have coming up, and just to, just to show my face as well as somebody who's back in the community and new as the leader of the YMCA. Before I get into that, though, I would like to just take the public opportunity to say thank you to IBTS for their continued support of the YMCA. They have donated to our annual campaign, as well as recently donated a set of basketballs and soccer balls, which have been a really big hit for our members to check out when they come to the YMCA. So thank you to IBTS for their continued support of the YMCA. Like I said, IBTS has donated to our annual campaign, and that's kind of the first thing I wanted to hit, is that every year this is something that the YMCA does because we are a nonprofit organization. We raise funds to ensure that we can allow all people within the community to be part of the YMCA. And so this year is no different. Our goal is $60,000, and I believe when I looked at it today, we're about 20% away from our goal. I thank the community for their continued support with the annual campaign. The Y has been in the community for over 20 years. Since 1995, the YMCA has been in the community. And I commend Guymon for having the foresight to ask for a YMCA, because we just heard a presentation about what Kansas has, but what Liberal doesn't have is they don't have a YMCA, and we do. So that's a really big asset in itself to me. So one of our events we have coming up that also goes with annual campaign is Zumbathon. So for those who like to dance or move, the Zumbathon is a good opportunity to help with the annual campaign. So it would be $5 for members and $10 for people who may not be members of the YMCA. And so those funds will help us be able to continue to serve our community. Another event that we have, that's April 14th. Another event we have coming up soon is Healthy Kids Day. So that's the first flyer you see for Healthy Kids Day, which is on April 21st. And so this is it's actually a national initiative that pretty much all Ys do, that focus on the health and well-being of kids. And so for us, it's an opportunity for families to try out the YMCA and come to the YMCA. We'll have a few games and demos and different activities around the Y, as well as we'll highlight a family swim that day as well. But it'll be an opportunity for that's free to the public for all people, even if you're not a member, to come and hang out at the YMCA as a family that day on April 21st. Just as well, we'll have information on our summer programs as well, so day camp and swim lessons and some of the other activities we'll have going on this summer. Another thing I want to take time to do is to make sure that, the Y is always a partner in the community. So one of the things that's important to me as a leader of the Y is to make sure that people know that we're here to serve and we're available to help where we can. Because we're more than just a workout facility and a gym. We're a safe space for families and kids and youth. And as the community continues to grow and change, no matter how much we grow, we're always going to be that for the community. And one of the sayings that I've adopted recently that I really like is that we're not in the business of building a better Y, we're in the business of building a better community. And so that's what we want to continue to do. And that's what Guymon has done for the past 20 years, having this YMCA. So that was really all I wanted to do this evening, and I thank you guys for listening. And then before I get off the mic or ask if you have questions, I also want to acknowledge any board members that I have here in the audience. And I think I see one. Oh, two. Lacey and Carrie are here, are board members, and one of Lacey's our board president. So I thank them for coming. And so what you also have, last thing, is just little tidbits on, I call it an impact sheet of what, how a membership with the Y strengthens the community. And it just kind of highlights some of the things that I talked about on the microphone. So any questions?
No, I do want to add that here recently I have seen a lot of progress at the Y, whether it be through programs or marketing. And I think that begins with good leadership and the voice of leadership. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks very much.
Anybody else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7 is presentation of the monthly activities and financial report by Artist Incubation. Anybody from Artist Incubation?
He's not.
He must have split. Okay, we'll catch that one next month. Agenda item number 8 is discussion of monthly activities and financial report by Main Street Guymon. Ms. Johnson.
This is our February report, and the big event for us in February is the annual meeting. So number 6 on the report shows who won the community awards, and there's a lot of really wonderful businesses and committees on there, but the one that probably would interest y'all the most is the best place-making project was the Veterans Banner Project on Main Street. That's with Jim Norris was there to accept it, but it's the American Legion's project, but you guys are the ones that hang it up and do all that, so that's kind of your award. We had, our lunch mob had 9 at it. On the attending, number 4, attendings, the leadership training that was at the library was exceptional. I don't know if any of you were there, but it was really, really good. 2 speakers came from Amarillo, brought by the Toastmasters, and the area was perfect, and it just had a good turnout. It was good. Transformers this month toured the Oaks of Mamre, and then Rick Williams came in and did a, what are you 2 doing? You're busted.
You got another pen?
Oh, okay. And we had a board election. Our 3 new board members are Norma Green with PTCI, Donna Riffle, who's an individual member, and Julianne Graham is an incumbent that came in. Soyla Medina and LG Davis both had done 2 terms, so they weren't eligible any longer. And we do have a shop local coalition committee. I don't know what it's really called, and it's just started up. We had our 2nd meeting this week, and we're talking about and discussing a shop local campaigns. I think you guys maybe ought to have somebody in there because a part of that shop local campaign it is sales tax revenues. So, although it's not entirely, it's not all retail, it's also shopping for your personal service, your insurance, and all types of things. We had the Heart Healthy Luncheon, and this year, or this February, it was at the Guymon Fire Department, and the fire chief and Susie did a fabulous job. They really did a good job. In fact, Susie was named our February Main Street Guymon Vital Volunteer. We had 136 volunteer hours in February and 51 volunteers. Then some of our partners who have upcoming events, Live in Green race, are you running tomorrow or Saturday?
No, I'm walking.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I'm thinking I'm not. The pottery classes at the art gallery happen March 14th and 16th. And then TCEC has their, I always type community connections, but they call it co-op connections. I don't know. And that's at Whispering Bliss. Library has a couple of good programs, and then the Leadership Guymon is going to the state chamber, or to the state capitol. So, do you guys have any questions on February? No?
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9 is discussion and possible action on approval of a revised antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation and maintenance of a communications antenna and associated or related equipment.
This is the same thing that it was passed in January, and T-Mobile came back. Mr. Petty's been working with them. All it is that's changed is the date to reflect tonight. Nothing else has changed in that contract.
All right. Your recommendation is approval?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions, discussion?
Before the vote on this, I'd like to abstain, Mayor.
Okay. So noted.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the revised antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation and maintenance of a communication antenna and associated or related equipment.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Living Good,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 3 ayes.
Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action to appoint 2 commission members to the Guymon Area Arts and Humanities Commission to fill 2 vacancies with the term ending in 2018 and 2019. And get this other page open. Miranda Gilbert is one of the nominees. Shannon Goodnight, you all come up and give us your recommendation, if you would.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council and IDPS and the audience. My name is Bo Hawkins, and I am the elected chair for the Arts and Humanities Commission.
Matthew Crook, I'm the vice chair.
And so for the past couple of years, we've been working as part of the Arts and Humanities Commission to come up with ways to get the community involved using the arts and humanities to further promote the community in Guymon. So it does require a lot of people and a lot of active participation. So recently we've had some vacancies that until recently we just hadn't had a whole lot of applicants. But in recent weeks, we've had a couple of people that have been attending the meetings regularly that we would like to have the opportunity for you to consider actually just adding them on as commission members, including Miranda Gilbert, who was our former liaison officer, and Shannon Goodnight. Both of them are very passionate about the arts and have a background in the arts and would like to do all they can to volunteer to help the community and expand their cultural opportunities using arts and humanities.
So that's your recommendation from the board?
Yes, those 2 are our recommendations. Okay. I am aware that there was a third application, including a gentleman who works at the radio station. I haven't had an opportunity to meet that gentleman, but I would certainly invite him, once I get the opportunity to contact him, to attend the meetings, because they are open to the public, and we can certainly use all of the community involvement that we can get. I am aware that some of our commission members may or may not be wishing to maintain or stay in the commission for an extended period of time, so we will have some other openings available soon. So we would definitely like to include anybody that would like to be an active part of the community.
Questions, discussion?
I make a motion that we appoint Miranda Gilbert, Shannon Goodnight, members of the Guymon Area Arts and Humanities Commission to fill the 2 vacancies with term ending 2018, 2019, item 10.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Agenda item number 11 is discussion and possible action on adopting the concept map for the Guymon Soccer Complex for fundraising and grant writing purposes. Mr. Clapsaddle.
The last time that we were here, we brought you a plan that looked a little bit like this. Well, a lot like this. Actually, we had a plan that showed 5 fields. We had a plan that showed phase 1 as being these 2 fields going west to east. We had a plan that showed the maintenance building, the concession stand, all of those facilities as being away from the parking area. We had a plan that did not depict the playground. We had a plan that, quite frankly, you had some questions about. and you instructed staff to go back and talk to the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Parks and Tree Board to get their input, to get their comments, and to come back with you and to talk about that with you. That's exactly what we've done. We have met with the Tree and Parks Board. We have met with the Planning and Zoning Commission, and thank goodness we did, and thank goodness for your suggestion, because I think we have come up with a better concept plan. First of all, we're no longer calling it the concept plan. We are calling it the overall site plan for marketing and fundraising purposes. That is what we're doing this for. So this is for us to be able to go out, look at grants, look at raising funds, and moving forward on that part of the project. As we go forward with development of the property, we will do a traffic study. We will do a final site plan that is going to go before the Parks and Tree Board, before the Planning Commission, and before you for final adoption and approval. Because as we go through and start work, likely some of this is going to change. And so I first of all, wanted to make that point to you. The second thing I wanted to do is go over a little bit about the changes we made. At the behest of the Planning Commission and the Parks Board, we now made Phase 1 the championship field, which has been moved to the corner property, and the field to the south is Phase 1, which makes more sense because we're developing Phase 1 along with the parking lot that's going to be developed in conjunction with the school board. More efficient, cheaper, much, much better design. We also have added a playground. I remember back when I took the kids to soccer. It'd be nice to watch one kid, daughter, with watching soccer, and keep another eye on the younger one while she was on the playground. And so that's also something that we have tried to do as well. Instead of having the maintenance building, the concession stand, going to the center of the overall project, we moved it closer to Phase 1. So the playground, the bleachers, concession stand, the maintenance building is down here. All of these facilities are moved closer to the parking lot and easier served within Phase 1 because, again, it makes sense, it's cheaper, it's more efficient, and much better to do. Also, keep in mind, all of this is going to be driven by fundraising. How much of this we're going to be able to do is going to be driven by how much money we raise, how much money we raise during the grant process. So that plan shows every light being every field eventually having lights. That may or may not happen. That plan shows paved walkways throughout the project. That may or may not happen depending upon how much money we raise, how much money we find out it's going to be to maintain the project. So we think we're in a much better place. We're glad you sent us back to the Tree Board and Planning Commission. We think we've made some improvements. We think we're on the right track, and we would respectfully ask that you adopt this so we can sit down and do a fundraising plan, start kicking off marketing of the project, and start to be able to apply for grants. And with all that, I respectfully ask for your approval, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Discussion, any questions?
I will tell you also, this plan has been sent to the chairman of the Tree Board, Becky Baggerly, and I've received favorable comments from her on it. Geraldine Sanchez is also in the audience, and she has been so helpful and such a resource as we've gone through this. She has looked at that. She's also on the Tree and Parks Board, as you know, and also believes that this is a good plan to move forward with. You can't be more excited. We are excited to get this kicked off and start to fundraise and start to make this a reality for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the concept map for the Guymon Soccer Complex for fundraising and grant writing purposes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Living Good,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Thank you, Mr. Clapsaddle.
Mr. Clapsaddle, is this the last time you addressed us?
Yes, it will be. My last day is going to be the 16th, next Friday. And, I just want to tell you just how honored I've been to be here and to serve you and to serve the people of this community. And this decision to move back to my hometown of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, it's not an easy one, but it's one that Etta and I are looking forward to doing. And I'll tell you what, growing up on the East Coast, and I've lived on the West Coast, I've lived in Canada, and all your life you hear about Midwestern values and Midwestern sensibility and the kindness and strength of the people of the heartland of our country. And I can tell you today, I am so glad to have experienced that firsthand. And those values are something that I will take with me to the rest of my life. And I want to thank members of the Planning Commission. I know Mr. Montgomery is here. The Planning and Zoning Commission is going to do a great job. Board of Adjustment is going to do a great job. And you have everything you need to be successful, to grow and to make this community move forward. There's just not very many communities this size that has a Y like Tiana talked about. A library, community theater, a vibrant Main Street, 13 parks that are second to none, and a golf course that, well, I will miss playing, but I think future golf courses I'll lose a lot fewer golf balls on than the one here. And as you have the casino, as you have the Windcatcher project, as you have a revitalized Main Street, the future is just very, very bright. And the only thing, just in case I had a chance to share something with you, I just want to leave you one final idea. We urban planners have our heroes too, and Daniel Burnham is one of the great planners that we study in school. And what he said was, make no little plans. They have no magic to stir men's bloods, and probably themselves will not be realized. Make big plans, aim high in hope and work, remembering that a noble, logical diagram once recorded will never die, but long after we are gone, be a living thing, asserting itself with ever-growing consistency. Remember that our sons and our grandsons are going to do things that would stagger us, and let your watchword be order and your beacon beauty. And the other idea I'll leave you with is, as you grow and we start to do code enforcement, as we start to amp up and get ready for the future, there's going to be some pain involved. There's going to be some issues, and there's going to be some challenges. But in Chinese, the word crisis has two meanings. It has two words. One is danger, the other is opportunity. So whenever you're faced with a crisis, a problem, an issue that arises, yes, there's danger, but there's always opportunity. And Mayor, Council, thank you. I really appreciate it every day. I've got to work here. These wonderful people that I got to work with every day, and this wonderful community I got to serve, and thank you very much.
Thank you for everything, David.
Agenda item number 12 is discussion and possible action on declaring property surplus and determining the disposition. There's some pictures and the worksheet. Mr. Mitchell.
This is,
Mr. Wagner, excuse me.
we talked about it last council meeting. We were trying to get all of the equipment at the golf course and at Parks Department, Water Department, Gas Department, the things that are just kind of taking up space that we do not use any longer, and get it one, out of the public eye, and two, we need to declare it surplus so we can get rid of it.
Okay.
I looked at some of these pictures and kind of surprised code enforcement hadn't gotten us.
It's been there a while.
It's been there a while.
You haven't been getting your emails. Any discussion, questions? I guess my question on disposition, are you thinking auction or just sell it to salvage or leave that up to you and staff?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through it. But at this point, I would say most of it's gonna be auction. The other stuff is gonna be nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to make a motion that we declare the property surplus and determining disposition. Item 12.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 13 is discussion and possible action on adding Renee Harlan to the depository bank accounts for the city of Guymon.
Renee is our new financial services manager. She started with us Monday, and we're excited about having her, and we need to get her on where she can sign off on the bank accounts.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion on adding Renee Harlan to depository bank accounts for the city of Guymon.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 14 is a possible executive session pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statutes 307B1 to discuss resumes and conduct interviews for the employment of a part-time city treasurer.
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Crone.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Make a motion, we reconvene.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to reconvene.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
We'll reconvene as the Guymon City Council. Agenda item number 15 is discussion and possible action on appointment of a part-time city treasurer position.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Lynn Hoffman, part-time city treasurer position.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Congratulations, Lynn.
Is there any new business? Any new business? Not, we'll stand adjourned as the Guymon City Council. Find the next agenda. We'll go to the Guymon Airport Authority. Called order the special meeting of the Guymon Airport Authority. We've already done, agenda item number 2 is approve the minutes of the special meeting of December 14th, 2017 and December 21st, 2017.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes, December 14, 2017, December 21st, 2017, item 2.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Living Good.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on adding Renee Harlan to the depository bank accounts for the Guymon Airport Authority.
Make a motion, we add Renee Harlan to the depository bank accounts for the Guymon Airport Authority.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item 4, we're going to move to the last agenda that we have, which will be, I think, the Utilities Authority.
Correct.
Any new business? We'll stand adjourned as the Guymon Airport Authority.
Industrial.
Convene as the Guymon Industrial Authority. Agenda item number 2 is approve the minutes of the special meeting of December 21st, 2017.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes of the special meeting, December 21st, 2017, item 2.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on approval of the antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation and maintenance of a communication antenna and associated or related equipment, which we've already done.
Do we need to do that?
We need to do that again.
I'll make a motion that we approve the antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation and maintenance of a communication antenna and associated or related equipment.
Mayor, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay, duly noted. Have a motion and a second.
Crone?
Aye.
Living Good?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 3 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on adding Renee Harlan to the depository bank accounts for the Guymon Industrial Authority.
I'll make a motion we add Renee Harlan to the depository bank accounts for the Guymon Industrial Authority.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras?
Aye.
Crone?
Aye.
Living Good?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Is there any new business? Not will stand adjourned as the Guymon Industrial Authority.
No.
What?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Will reconvene as the Guymon Utilities Authority. We've done agenda item number 2, approval of the consent agenda. Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on approval of resolution number 18-03. Resolution setting utility rates, solid waste disposal charges, fees, and deposits, and establishing procedures for utility connects, disconnects, and reconnections. The resolution is attached. Mr. Wagner.
This is the, what, I guess it was 2 meetings ago, we talked about discussion with the council to make that amendment to the resolution that goes through dealing with the deposits. I think it was Councilman Swagger that made the, wanted that to be on there.
Okay.
You want to talk about it, Larry?
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes. If you remember, this is the request that Larry Swaggart made regarding waiving the $200 deposit fee for property owners that are in good standing and they want to transfer their accounts to a new address. So the resolution addresses that. And then the other one was in the case where a homeowner, property owner wanted to turn on utilities temporarily for a 5-day period in order to show the house or have inspections done, and then that deposit fee was reduced 50% from 200 to 100. And those are the 2 changes that are made in that resolution.
Okay. Any questions, discussion?
If somebody has had problems in the past with this, and they are in good standing and they've paid, are we going to reimburse them?
We're saying that they have to, in order to be in good, a person in good standing has to have a record of at least a year of timely payment. So they would have to be a owner or an account payer for at least a period of a year.
So if they meet that criteria and they've paid recently, would they be reimbursed?
No.
No?
No, I think you can't go retroactively. I think you would have to base it on the date of the approval of the resolution. So I think there's an emergency clause attached to this resolution, is there not? Maybe not, but you certainly could declare it an emergency so it'd be in effect immediately.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 1803, a resolution setting utility rates, solid waste disposal charges, fees, and deposits, establishing procedures for utility connections, disconnections, reconnections, item 3.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone?
Aye.
Alvedras?
Aye.
Living Good?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
I would like to make a motion to make item 3 an emergency.
Second.
Have a motion.
Can we do that?
It's not necessary, it's not an ordinance, so you don't have to.
Okay.
There's no emergency.
Yeah, it's a resolution.
Thank you.
Okay. Agenda item number 4, which we've already done, is discussion possible action on approval of an antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation and maintenance of a communication antenna and associated or related equipment.
Make a motion, we approve the antenna permit for T-Mobile Central LLC for installation, maintenance of a communication antenna and associated or related equipment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
I'd like to abstain.
Duly noted.
Crone,
Aye.
Living Good,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 3 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action on adding Renee Harlan to depository bank accounts for the Guymon Utilities Authority.
Make a motion, we add Renee Harlan to depository bank accounts for the Guymon Utilities Authority.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Living Good,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 6 is discussion and possible action on approval of pay request number 1 to Slattery Construction in the amount of $5,698.10 on the lift station and force main project. Pay request is attached. Any questions? This is out of the bond money and the
The
sewer.
2015 A note.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve of the pay request number 1 to Slattery Construction in the amount of $5,698.10 on the lift station and force main project.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 7 is discussion and possible action on approval of pay request number 3 to Slattery Construction in the amount of $22,249.47 for the lift station rehabilitation project. And this is same
2015 A note.
Make a motion, we approve pay request number 3 to Slattery Construction in the amount of $22,249.47 for the lift station rehabilitation project.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
We're going to insert reports from the city manager and council. Anybody have any reports tonight?
I would like to say thank you to all the volunteers that came out for the golf course cleanup day on the 24th. We had 14 of us, even though it was a little icy and overcast, but the sun came out and we put a big dent in it. It was quite the improvement, so I really appreciate anybody that came out and volunteered their time. It was fun. Okay.
Any other reports, comments?
Oh, I've got another one.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
The fire, there was a fire just north of town on Tuesday, and I actually had my radio turned on and heard them come over whenever it happened, and I got to run out there and see. I would like to say thank you to our fire, our police, but not only them, sheriff's department, county guys, highway patrol. It's quite amazing to see when everybody really jumps in and gets their boots going. It was quite the sight. So thank everybody for putting that out and as quickly with the wind howling. So
I think a lot of private citizens also, and companies sent
that's right.
a
equipment.
bunch of farmers with
Yeah,
big
Seaboard.
discs and plows started helping out as well. So
Panhandle Standard. Any other reports, comments? I have one couple. A lot of people saw it in the paper. They brought in the USDA and everybody brought in this firefighting helicopter. So Sunday I went out by the airport and walked in just to visit with the guys. And this is not really a comment, but it's more of a story, but it is a comment. But anyway, one of the staff was in the office there, and I said, well, have you talked to the fire chief? Have they got you all fixed up to get water and all that? And he gave me this look, and he said, no, we don't do that. We have this bag that hangs under the helicopter. We drop it down into a lake and fill it up and go do that. And then I gave him the same look back, like, where's all these lakes at? So we talked about Sunset Lake, and I said, I don't know if it's deep enough or not. And he said, I think it'll work. And then when the fire started the other day, I thought, well, not meaning this disrespectful, and that I'm glad we had a fire, but I thought, we're going to see this helicopter dip in the lake. And then I find out later that the thing broke down and they couldn't take off with it.
Oh.
So anyway, but if they do, I want to thank the USDA for thinking of us and doing that, because we generally don't get those things. And if they do need to dip into Sunset Lake, we'll fill it back up after the fire's over. They flew back to Weatherford. They flew back to Weatherford, okay.
I'd like to ask a question in that respect. If the chopper had been called out or could get airborne, who would pay for that?
The Oklahoma Forestry Service, through
Forestry
USDA.
Service?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. They have them staged all throughout the state. It's a federal assistance type thing, and they've got dozer crews, they've got engine crews. They have 2 single engine air tankers, which is just an airplane, like a spray plane, staged in Woodward. 2 of them in Woodward. They have a large air tanker in Altus, and they have a helicopter in Woodward and a helicopter in Weatherford now. Just talking to the Forestry Service, I was like, hey, we've got a spot out here. You know, we're worse than the rest of the state. They moved them out here for 5 days, and we called them up to bat, and they swung and missed. So
Anyway, it's wonderful to see.
it was awesome.
And we
I just
thank-
wished I'd have seen them drop water too,
Yep.
Mayor.
And I guess we have lagoons if we run out of, One other thing to notice, it's springtime. We got a lot of dead weeds and grass and trash around town, fire hazards. Before long, it's gonna be varmints and stuff moving in, so Saturday, when it's real pretty, get the old lawnmower or the weed whacker out and clean up around your place. A little community pride, doesn't cost much to do that. Anybody have anything else?
All right, I got one more.
One more.
Wanted to say, I'm sorry. I wanted to say thank you to Lavona for filling in for our part-time city treasurer position. She's done a wonderful job, and on top of all of her other duties, I don't know how she has time, but thank you, Lavona.
Thank you, Lavona.
Thank you.
We appointed her, do we have to fire her?
I think she turned her back. I think she's already quit.
You're on
I heard
Sergio.
Huh?
I said.
Yeah, Sergio. We'll let you take care of it. Okay, one last time. You done? That's it? Okay. All right, any other comments? Any new business? If not, we'll stand adjourned. Thank everybody for coming tonight.